people expect you to have something that they don't have.
Very true.
Whatever it is, how can you ask somebody to have this and you don't have it for yourself?
I don't necessarily value a man in the sense of he has to make more money than I do. You know what I mean? I feel like I could definitely be with a CEO, but I could also definitely be with a plumber. Leadership comes in all different types of forms. And even though he may not be making more money than you, there's still other things that he can bring to the table. What do you feel the breakup taught you?
Okay.
And what would you have done differently?
Respectfully, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I think that experience helped me in our relationship to this day. What don't kill you make you stronger. Also, looking back, I realized how important communication is. To be honest with you, when you looking back now, like if I would just be like in the beginning, like, yo, this is like work is getting a lot. Could we just slow down a little bit? Could we, when it's possible we go out, but could we stay in more times than others? Maybe we didn't have to break up. So I was a poor communicator at the time. I think those are the two major things that stand out to me. It was one of those things that I feel like I had to go through because it made me better. So it was just a lesson. It was just a lesson. That's what I learned. What about you?
I think that it taught me that your person is your person, and your person is going to be your person, like regardless of circumstances. Because I think throughout like our relationship, just from how we met, like everything kind of, even when things seemingly fell apart, they always fall back together, And I think that as a woman, it's really important to know what you want, because the reason why I was like so standoffish with you when we saw each other on Easter is just because I was really mad that I was like out there in the world, like having to date.
And you were young at the time.
Yeah, but you know how I am. Like having to dating was ghetto. Like I really did not enjoy it. I had fun, obviously, but it never felt the way it felt like when we were together. And I think that oftentimes people really don't know what they want. And that causes them to really miss out on who their life partner should be. So like if I was the type of person that was just like, oh, well, he broke up with me, I'm never getting back with him, I'm never going to talk to him again, and like really stuck by that, like look at everything that I would have.
I was about to say that. You did say that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you can say things in anger, but when like you really sit and reflect, it's like I had opportunity to date other people. Then I was in a relationship with somebody else, and the person I was in a relationship with, there was nothing wrong with them. Like everything looked good on paper. You understand what I'm saying? There was absolutely nothing wrong with them. Attractive, smart, good family, good job. Nothing wrong at all. But it still didn't hold up to my experience with you. And I felt like, that situation helped me to appreciate my feelings for you and how I felt about you.
Just about to say that. I said that the third thing, but I'm gonna let you finish.
It really helped me to appreciate my feelings for you. And, I think it motivated me to, when we got back together, to like really, make the effort for it to last. And I think that that's kind of been kind of telling for like our marriage. You know what I mean? And we touched on this on the last episode, like really having the willingness to want to maintain your relationship. Because honestly, being that we got together so young, maybe if I did not have those experiences of talking to other people, I would have taken it for granted. Like, oh, all relationships are like this one.
Supposed to be like this.
Yeah, and it's not like that.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's one of the things that it taught me. It also taught me how to better read your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was young, I was inexperienced. So, like I said, my mind went straight to the negative. I didn't really maybe know the right questions to ask. You know what I mean? Or to give you some space to come to me with the information as opposed to always asking what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong.
Smothering me.
You know, smothering you and stuff like that. And just like being pushy and like, you know what I mean?
Being aggressive in a sense.
Not really being aggressive.
It felt,
I hate that word.
No,
Did it feel aggressive?
Yeah, it felt very aggressive at the time. Because again, you didn't know. I just needed some time
to figure things out.
I just needed space.
Yeah. And that's a big one. I think people often confuse space with distance.
And a breakup.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
No, I think that a lot of time people say, oh, I need space. Maybe I just need a weekend to myself. But I'm not saying I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, but not only that, not just the technicality of breaking up, but it's like space as like an indicator of where we are in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like there's distance between us. That's distance is not the right word, but do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think I do.
So, yeah, maybe.
Also, I left this out. Also, what I learned was how significant you were to me. Sometime when you have something, you overlook it because you have it and you don't see the value at the moment, or it's not that you don't see the value. Maybe not. I wouldn't say I didn't appreciate you, because I really did appreciate you as my friend, my lover, you know, the person I bounce ideas off, you know, so our love had so many different layers. And, you know, I couldn't go out there in the world and find that. That's not built overnight. You know, that was, you know, years of, you know, building that, the bond that we have.
Yeah. I think people don't really understand, like, Darren and I are like really friends.
Yeah.
Like it's an interesting dynamic because I think that, I don't know, maybe it's just because we grew up together. We've just been through so much together that it's like we're really friends.
Yeah, and we had so much in common.
We have a lot in common.
And so much not in common.
We're the most common different people you will ever come across.
Like the saying that opposite attract.
Yeah.
But it's weird that we also have so much in common.
So many similarities. And I think the friendship has helped us to not take things too far. You know, it's one thing to be angry. It's one thing to argue, but we've never like crossed the line. And I think that
badly.
We may have like, you know, crypt walked on it, but we didn't cross it.
Jump right over it.
Jump over it. I think that really does help. Like when you're really friends with your partner, when you really love them, and when you really truly care about them and their well-being. It's a blessing and a curse because like when it gets bad, we're passionate about it because it's like, why don't you see that I care about you and you should do X, Y, and Z?
Funny. Well, not funny. It was painful. I remember when very first time I got a hemorrhoid and I went to LIJ. I was about to call you to come with me.
Well, we weren't together.
We weren't together.
I probably would have came. This nigga got me in here with this damn, but I would have came.
And I was like, I can't call her. My pride won't let me. But
no, we've been through. I don't even think people understand what we've been through.
Yeah,
like we've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
And we make it look very easy.
Yeah. So
we make it look very.
So they
easy.
say.
So they say.
But
we don't look like anything what we've been through.
But to go back, it was just like, I think that what we had was kind of unique. We had time to build on it.
Yeah.
Because we're so young.
Yeah.
You know, I think one luxury that we had that a lot of people don't have is we started so young, so we was able to waste time, so to say. Where if we would have met now, there would have been a lot of pressure to make it work. And I think a lot of people go through that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a luxury that we had and a lot of people might not have.
Yeah.
So because we went through different stages of life together.
Yeah.
Because when we met, we were kids.
Yep.
Now we have a home together with 3 children.
Yeah.
You know, in our careers.
Yeah.
You know, and
I definitely think us meeting early took the pressure off of it. You know, anybody who's our age now who's looking to settle down, although we like to think that there's not like a clock in the back of your head, there is a clock. It's
definitely.
like, especially if you feel like you're starting later than most, you want to have children, you want to settle down, you want to buy the house. What we got to do over a period of like 7 years before getting married, people are doing over a year and a half.
And that's a lot.
And it's a lot.
Like, do you really know the person? Like that's my fear. Like, do you really know the person? That would be my fear. Like, do you really know the person? Is this gonna work out? Like, because you know, a committed relationship, that's real. By the way, the green look lovely on you.
Thank you.
I love it.
Green for money.
I know, girl. I know.
I don't know. Do you know somebody after a year and a half? I think the problem too in today's society is that we're looking for people to come to the table whole, like completed products.
And you know my biggest beef with that? I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
I feel like folks flee at the first sign of inconvenience or something that they don't particularly care for.
You said the word inconvenience. Not really a problem.
Yeah, no.
Not really a problem.
Or just a challenge.
Yeah.
I don't think people look at it. It's very transactional. It's very like, what box do you check?
My biggest problem in the situation, what I see outside in this world today, is that people expect you to have something that they don't have.
Very true.
Like, whatever it is, how can you ask somebody to have this and you don't have it for yourself?
Yes. And you know, it's interesting to me because like I'm really torn on this. Actually, I was watching this creator that I follow, this influencer that I follow, and she's a married woman, empty nester. Her child is older. Her and her husband have been together for a long period of time. She does not come from money. She speaks very openly about how she was poor growing up and never wanted to have that for her child. Her husband comes from a solidly middle-class family, but they both do financially well for themselves. And she talks about young women, and in this particular circumstance, we're talking about Black women, who are educated, who are high earners, who have had experiences, and now are trying to date, and the dating pool becomes limited because they can't seem to find men that are equally yoked, right? And she was saying that this other creator that she was watching got a lot of heat for saying that I don't want to date somebody who I can't have a conversation with, right? When we're talking about going on vacation, they want to go to Mexico and I want to go to Amsterdam. You know what I mean? Like they're very limited. Or I'll give you one better.
Okay.
They want to go to Atlantic City. And I'm trying to go to
Berlin,
Versailles. You know, like, you know what I mean? So a lot of people were giving her heat under her posts and calling her a gold digger. And she's like, but what gold do you have that I'm striking? This is gold that I have created for myself. And all I'm saying is I want somebody who understands and speaks the same language that I do. And this influencer that I follow is of that same mindset, that she says, I didn't sign up to struggle in life. Like, I don't want to struggle. She says, I know people who have married for money. I know people who have married for love. I know some relationships that have married for love and not lasted. I know some relationships that have married for money and have lasted. You know what I mean? It's all about your comfort level and how you feel.
And making it work.
And making it work. And I don't know. I think that, like, we've had this conversation before. I feel like I don't necessarily value a man in the sense of he has to make more money than I do. You know what I mean? I feel like I can definitely be with a CEO, but I could also definitely be with a plumber. And when I say plumber, I mean, like, I'm not like talking about Joe Schmo from up the block, but sometimes leadership comes in all different types of forms. And even though he may not be making more money than you, there's still other things that he can bring to the table. And I think it's like a different conversation. I think we started to have this on one of our episodes about like being kind of classist a bit. And it seems that in our community, like the classes are starting to become like more significant, especially between men and women. And that's where the problem is coming in, because men are seeing women that they find attractive or potentially good wives, good fits. And they feel like, okay, this woman is attractive. She's well-traveled. She's this, she's that. But then the women are saying, but you're not these things and we're not at the same level. So it was just a really interesting segment to watch. But I feel like, again, expecting people to have things that sometimes you kind of have to do that. If you don't do that, it really narrows your dating pool. That's the long point that I was trying to get to. You understand what I'm saying?
I definitely.
Like, there's not enough people who in our community that are at the same level. Something has got to give if you're talking, if you're staying in our community. Now you have a lot of people that's like, listen, I'm going to date somebody else out of my race.
Yeah. And we've seen that a lot.
We've seen that a lot more frequently now. This is why we see a lot of Black women with white men. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just like, where's the give and take? You know, for me, it's not problematic. It's not problematic for me if I earn more money than you. You have a good job. I'm more on like, what is your character? Like, are you God-fearing? Are you able to lead? Are you ambitious? Right? Mm-hmm. Just because you start somewhere doesn't mean you're gonna end up there.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, the only thing, this is where it gets gray. Like, if I'm used to Christian Louboutin and I want to buy my Louboutin, don't tell me now to start shopping at Payless, because baby, that's not gonna work. That's the only thing where I'm like, you understand
you draw
what I'm
the
saying?
line.
That's where I draw the line.
There's a certain standard of life.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you cannot afford to buy that for me, that's okay. But don't question me when I buy it for myself. That's the only place I draw the line.
You know me, I feel like, first of all, I think love is love.
It is.
Love is love. I don't think that you should block your blessings, so to say.
I agree.
If you Black and your love come white, green, yellow, red, whatever it is, you take it, because I believe that one of the biggest gifts an individual can receive in life is experiencing real love.
Yeah.
You know, that love that, you know, you could be a grown ass man, that love that keep you up at night, keep you on the phone talking, that make you want to try different things. But to go back to what you said, two individuals can have a lot of money, but have two different mindsets. For example, you can have the woman that, you know, want to explore the world, but you can have a guy who makes a lot of money, but don't want to leave Manhattan. Mm-hmm. The only island he sees is Manhattan. So I think when we talk about what makes people so special, like when opposite attract, is that when you're opposite for me, you make me go out there and experience different things. Mm-hmm. That's what make your relationship grow. Like, I would not have had this experience if it wasn't for you. Mm-hmm. So to go back to say that it's okay to date somebody who's kind of opposite from you, because that they bring something different to the table.
Does that happen though? And I don't know.
I don't
Because
know.
we're similar. But does that
We're
happen?
similar in the sense
or are I don't want to turn this into a men versus women thing.
Yeah.
But just giving the example that you have. Is your man going to be comfortable with you putting him on to certain experiences because he feels like I'm the man I should be putting you on?
I think that this is where the dating stage is important because, you know, we all know when you're dating people, people come out with their best self.
Mm-hmm. You get the representative.
You get the representative. But also at the same damn time, there's a certain level a person can't lie to you. Mm-hmm. If you watch enough, if you really listen,
you see what makes them uncomfortable.
Make them uncomfortable. They're gonna tell you who they are. You just gotta listen.
Yeah.
So I think that the problem is that people are looking for the wrong thing when they get into a relationship, including I don't want to say old people, but mature people. Mm-hmm. So let's say that two 30-year-olds shouldn't be looking for the same thing of two 25-year-olds. Yeah, you at different
stages.
You should be at a different stage in your life because that's two different age brackets.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're in your early 30s, you know, you should be a little bit more stable. You should know what you want. Definitely know what you want. You should kind of have a plan of how to get what you want. You should have an idea of certain things. Mm-hmm. But a 25-year-old might be scrambling still. Might have a college degree, but might be bouncing from one industry to another. So just to say is that if you have a closed mind, you limit yourself.
Right.
Period. You know, even though you're the most experienced, if you say that, like I was watching this meme the other day, I've seen several times actually, that, you know, when women come into the world, say that I want a man that make $100,000 a year, whatever the case may be. You just eliminate probably like 85% of your dating pool.
Interesting. That much?
That's what he said. That's what he said.
That.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But I'm just going off of what he said. But I understand. Don't say that too loud. But I understand what he's trying to say.
I do feel like some of these lists of expectations, you're definitely limiting your dating pool.
But that's what he was going to. Like, I don't know if that's accurate numbers, but
no, I agree with that. And then you have like preferences. Gotta be 6 feet.
Gotta be 6 feet. Gotta drive a Mercedes. Gotta have this. Now, a high value individual like that, he turned around and said, have to like you also.
No, we've had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
We've had that conversation. You have to be realistic.
With your goals.
And that's why I say, for me, it should always, and maybe I'm saying this now because I'm the age that I am and I've lived life and I've experienced things. When you are looking for a husband, I'm less concerned with how much money you make and more concerned with your character. I'm going to be honest with you. Because baby.
I mean.
No. I'm not trying to live in poverty.
Okay.
Let's be clear.
Okay.
I'm not trying to live in poverty. You understand what I'm saying? And I also
okay, let me ask you a question.
I also don't want to stress you out trying to keep up with my lifestyle.
Okay, but you will. See, that's the problem. I feel like that's also another problem. We can say that in the beginning, but when we sit down and, you know, observe certain things, you know, in January, you come home with a pair of Louis.
Yeah.
March, you come in with pair of Gucci's.
Yeah.
June, you come in a pair of Chanel's. Mm-hmm. Maybe as a man, I can't give you that, and I beat myself internally for that. You know, sometimes it have nothing to do with you, and
that's not a relationship I can be in. If I was dating a man that made less than me, maybe wasn't even into fashion the way I'm into. Mm-hmm. I find that hard to believe that I would be dating somebody like that. Because, you know, listen, style doesn't mean name brand. You know what I'm saying?
Of course
so
not.
I always feel like whether they're dripped in designer or not, I would be dating somebody with style. I think.
Okay.
But let's just say, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
what wasn't into fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have to be comfortable with me doing the things that I like to do for myself. Now, I'm not saying buying Gucci and Hermes and not taking care of the bills. I'm not
No,
saying that.
that's not what we're talking about. If you
But
got it, you got it.
right. But you would have to be comfortable with the fact that occasionally you're going to see me buy a Chanel bag.
That would take a strong-headed individual.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. I think us as human beings have to be more flexible. No, I cannot buy my wife Chanel. She can buy it for herself. But you know what? I can buy her a dozen roses. I can buy her other things that make her happy. I could take her out for a nice dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I could provide a nice home for her. I
could provide a home for her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm a handy man. You want a new built-in, baby? I got you. You need a built-in for those Chanel bags? I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Value comes in different forms.
Different forms, not just financially.
It's not just financial. And like I said, me being 30 plus now, it's like, what type of father are you going to be to our kids? Are you going to be present? You know what I'm saying? Is my daughter going to be looking up to us and saying, I want a man like my daddy? Like, these are things that are important. Mm-hmm. Not how many pair of Louboutins you can buy me, because I can buy my own damn Louboutins. For me, can't speak for all women.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because for me, on the flip end, you can have a man that can buy you all of that, and he doesn't have good character. Every time you turn around, he's cheating on you.
Domestic abuse.
Gambling problem. Drug problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Alcohol problem.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of like focus on character.
If you're a single woman right now, let's say late 20s, early 30s, and you're looking, not let's say your husband, but you're looking for a good partner, what's the 3 things they should look for in a man?
He has to be someone of faith. Whatever his faith is, he has to believe in God, and he has to
believe some sort of God or something.
Higher not power. Something.
Yeah. Higher
he has to believe in God.
Yes.
And like faith has to be a part
of his life. Okay.
Because believing in God, I have met very few Black people that don't believe in God. But are they really like, is God a part of their life and how they treat people and so on and so forth? How they show up every day in the world.
Okay, that's 1.
Family oriented.
2.
Driven.
3.
If we're just talking character, are we talking like physical?
No.
Yeah, character.
That's it. Driven, I feel like that. You should break that down a little bit.
I want someone who, there's people that have a good job and go to work every day, but they're not driven. Like they're okay with the monotony of just getting up and going to work at somebody's 9 to 5. And that's okay. I'm not knocking a 9 to 5, but it's like, okay, you work that 9 to 5, right? You have that money, you put it in your 401k, your Roth IRA, wherever the hell you put it. Mm-hmm. Are you the type of person that's looking for opportunities, right? Where it's like, hey, babe, at the end of this month, we got $5K left over. Where do you think we could put this? Are we going to get some Turo? Are we going to do Airbnb? Like, driven to something.
Okay.
Or maybe they're not business savvy, and it's like, we have $5K.
You don't have to be. I feel like you don't even have to be business savvy. If you can get someone to help in this day and time. You can get someone to help you.
But let's say you're comfortable where you are, and whatever you have extra is not to invest. That would be detrimental. But let's say, you know what, babe? I always wanted to go to Greece. We have $5K left over. Let's put this away so we can have a dream. Driven to something. Well, babe, I'm really interested in taking scuba diving class. Driven.
New experience.
Yes, something.
New experiences.
Something that drives you, that makes you wake up every day.
That keep you alive.
It keeps you alive. If you're the type of person that works your 9 to 5 and come home, lay on the couch with a beer and get up, rinse, repeat, no, it's not gonna work for me. Like, let's work towards something. let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let's just.
I.e., this is how this podcast started.
Right. Right. So, and it's not like we're not doing other things.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other things, but it's like, this is an opportunity. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So if you were single, 3 things you would be looking for.
We discussed this. I need a hybrid woman. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that, I don't want to confuse a modern day woman. I don't even know what that means anymore because I heard so much different translation of that. But I call my hybrid woman, like, I need you to do the traditional things. And, you know, like you said, let's go get an Airbnb. Let's put our head together. And let's, you know, I'm not just trying to go to work and come back and have a beer, or, you know, just some people in March watch a college football or college basketball and rinse and repeat. To me, I want a little excitement in my life. We only have one life. We can't repeat this.
Right.
You know, it's not a game where once you die, you can come back and do this again. So I wanted to experience this to the full capability I can. So I want a hybrid woman in that sense. That's the first one. 2, driven, ambitious. I need that. I need that. That, because just like you know how I am. I can't even sit down too long. While I'm working, guys, like if I'm working, making phone calls, I got to get up and walk. Like it's crazy. I need action. I need action.
This man can't sit still to save his life.
Like, this is hard for me, guys. Like, sitting down right here, having this talking.
If he could do this podcast walking back and forth, he would.
I would, because my head is going.
Sometimes I'm in bed. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I hear feet. You would think that somebody broke into the house. No, it's Darren walking back and forth because he has something on his mind that he has to think about. Number 3.
Number 3 would be family would have to be important to you. Because I'm raised and surrounded by family. So if family's not important to you, that'll be a big thing. That'll be a big no-no. Family would have to be important to you. So I think that's it. Like, I don't want to make this any longer.
Well, yeah, guys, that's our breakup story.
Yeah.
You know, we encourage anybody who is with the love of their life or somebody that they're really serious about to communicate.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Life comes in waves.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, you know, if you let your partner in, not to say that you can let everybody in, but if you have somebody that you love and trust, let them in and try to work things out together. But also understand that sometimes our partners need space. And again, space does not mean separation. It doesn't mean distance. Sometimes we all need a moment to kind of regroup and prioritize. Reflect.
And that's not just a date, like, a couple of hours.
No, sometimes it's seasons.
Yeah.
And we've had seasons. This was one of many where we've had to not break up, but definitely give each other space to get through something.
Wait till you hear when we got married.
And we'll get to that. So, all right. So please, guys, like, follow, and subscribe. Apple Distramos. Good things take time. And drop some comments and questions below. We would love to answer them. And
we'll be having merch coming soon, guys. Merch.
Soon. All right, guys. Until next time.
Love ya.